Hello, and welcome to What Have You Read Lately? I'm your host, Wes Adams, and I have to let you know some sad news out from the start. My co-host will not be joining me tonight because they are lazy and did not read the book. That's right, Steve. I know you're out there watching, and I did just say lazy. So I have a question to start off like always. What have you read lately? Well, for me, if you're asking, I just finished an interesting book called Toys to Tools Connecting Student Cell Phones to Education by Liz Kolb. I found this book to be engaging and very teacher-friendly. Well, that is if you are a teacher. Through Kolb's book, she offers great insight into the world of education with the design of bringing student cell phones into the classroom. I did say it right. Student cell phones into the classroom. Hold on, teachers. Just relax and follow me through this. There has been a recent study where researchers who studied the disconnect between the culture of student home life and student experience in school believe that if the home culture of students is integrated into student learning, they are more likely to be academically successful. That's right, I did say academically successful by integrating students' interest into the classroom. Crazy idea, I know. But the real question is here, who doesn't want their students to be successful? I know I'm not. I know I want mine to be. I'm sure you do too. From there, Liz goes on to explain in Chapter 1 what is why it's important to bring the student cell phones into the classroom and what teachers can do with those cell phones as education devices. From there, she starts going into these, each chapter is kind of broken up into a lesson plan and ways to incorporate the cell phone with different technologies all together. The first lesson that she brings up that teachers should incorporate is cell phone etiquette. Now, before you make a judgment, I have one question for you. How many times have you been in a movie theater, a restaurant, or in the mall, and you can hear a person carry on their entire conversation through their cell phone? Or, even worse, in my opinion, you can see the glow of someone's cell phone while you're sitting in a dark movie theater. I don't know about you, but I experience this a lot, and it needs to stop. So, why not teach today's youth when it's appropriate to use your cell phone and when it's not appropriate to use your cell phone? Hello, have you heard of the bottom-up theory? If you teach the students to use their cell phones, then they will start hopefully rubbing off on their parents because, some parents also use their cell phones inappropriate and therefore their kids use cell phones inappropriate. But if you change it around and show the students win, they'll also correct their parents. And how much fun is that going to be to watch in a restaurant with a kid correcting his mom or dad? Okay, that's pretty much Chapter 2. Chapter 3 through 5 goes more in depth about these lesson plans that she offers. And these lesson plans incorporate anything from podcasts to camcorders and cameras to, bloggers and, the dreaded tweeter. In fact, she offers this great lesson plan at the end of Chapter 3, which I think fellow English teachers would love. Here, let me read it for you. Poetry Slam Podcast. Students recite their own original poetry to create a class poetry slam podcast and comment on each other's poems. Parents, friends, and community members can subscribe to the podcast so they can also comment on the poems. They will allow more access to the original work of the high school student and provide an opportunity for students to publish their work. Okay, so that's basically what she's talking about with the podcast summary. And also a great tool for this one, how many students do you know are afraid to speak in front of a class? Therefore, they turn around and just use a podcast, just like I'm doing right now. I was just recording myself talking while no one else is around me, and therefore I'm not shy. I'm just getting the project done. Get her done. Get it done. Okay, Besides just an English one, she does also offer science, social studies, and math lesson plans. And these lesson plans can be integrated from, middle school all the way to post-secondary. Obviously, it's going to take a little work to negotiate some of this, but you can get it done. Again, get her done. Chapter 6 and 7 goes in more discussion on other aspects of how to use the cell phone in the classroom. One tool I think that is great that she brings up is this idea of an organization tool. How many of you have cell phones that have a calendar on it, or a notepad, a calculator, or, any other tools besides, this is my wallpaper for my front phone, or, here's my text messaging, or I have some games on there. Well, she's asking you to turn around and use your cell phone as an educational tool for organization, like, due dates and other aspects of the cell phone. Great ideas in Chapter 6 and 7 that she offers. From here, this is where I find that she gets really weird with, and it's in Chapter 8. She actually talks about using cell phones in preschool and lower elementary level. Now, don't get me wrong, I enjoy this book a lot, but I can't just wrap my head around this idea of having, a 5-year-old have a cell phone right now. And it's probably because I don't have kids, but I honestly think that's just too young to have a cell phone. So, just cut that chapter out, and at least in my opinion. In her closing chapters, 9 and 10, she offers more resources for teachers to use and explains the future of cell phones and education. In fact, there was a study in 2004 that showed the initial age of owning a cell phone was between 11 and 15. That's right, 11 and 15 in 2004, 5 years ago. And in 2004, 87% of the U.S. population own cell phones. Crazy, I know, but just think about how much that number has actually grown in 5 years. So basically, what she wants you to talk about in the future of education and cell phones is this idea that cell phones aren't going away. So teachers, we can either continue to fight against the cell phones in the classroom, or we can embrace them. Remember a famous quote: keep your enemies close and your enemies closer. Overall, though, I found the book to be a friendly read with great insight into this world of new technology with cell phones and the classroom. Liz did a great job of offering up plenty of lesson plans across the board again, and plenty of reasons why this is an important aspect to add to the curriculum of today's society. Remember, we're there to teach the kids, we're there to prepare the students for the future, not just how to write a 5-paragraph paper. Remember, I know for a fact I don't want my students to be left behind in the workforce. Do you? Well, that's it for me. I hope you enjoyed my review, and stay tuned next week when hopefully my co-host will join me and not be so lazy. That's right, Steve, I did say lazy again. In the reading of Harry Potter and the Half-Blooded Prince. The movie comes out July 17th, but remember, it was a book first. Bye now!